So this is the demonstration of HeloCline, that 3D planning software. We walk now here through the office space. The walls were created, all these office items were imported from a database. And this is the manufacturing shop floor. On the side, a little bit of a storage area, and then different workbenches and tools, what we all put in place. There are some workers there simulating a receiving area. We even put a coffee machine here in the back. Very, very important.
Very important.
The forklift for bringing pallets in.
To the Manufacturing Connector, your gateway to the future of manufacturing. Our mission is to empower manufacturers with insights into the latest innovations transforming the industry. Each week we bring you cutting edge case studies, expert interviews, and in-depth demos of the tools, technology, and techniques driving manufacturing forward. I'm your host, Jim Mayer, and today we're joined by Markus Rimmele, the founder of DigitalituM. Markus is a leader in digital transformation, specializing in integrating advanced technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, IoT, and AI into manufacturing environments. His company focuses on revolutionizing manufacturing processes by providing customized solutions that enhance efficiency, boost productivity, and prepare businesses for the future. In today's episode, we'll dive into the challenges manufacturers face when it comes to digital transformation and how Markus and his company is addressing these challenges with innovative solutions. Markus will walk us through some real-world case studies that highlight the impact of these technologies, and we'll hopefully get an in-depth demo of how these tools work to transform manufacturing processes. Let's explore how digital tools are redefining the manufacturing landscape on the Manufacturing Connector. Hello, Markus. Welcome to the Manufacturing Connector. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just wonderful, Jim, and thank you for that introduction.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Markus, give us a really brief background on you, because your story is really cool, and I hope to have you on that other podcast here very soon. But tell us about your story, just the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, happy to do so. As you may hear from my funny accent, I'm not a native American. Born and raised in Germany, and as what you do in Germany after school, you start with an apprenticeship, and that's how I got into my career. I learned how to become a mechatronic. So at the intersection of the mechanics and the electronics, 3.5 years. And then went into the world of machine building, and from there starting wiring machines. Then at a later point of time, when I did a further education, programming the machines, the PLCs, bringing machines alive, travel around the world, so far 30 countries, 4 continents, 16 years United States. So I saw a lot of different factories all around the world, bringing machines alive, getting them connected, getting them productive, teach local operators, maintenance people, and make sure that the thing is running. And with this, I got around. I see a lot. Later then in the US, I did an EMBA with Georgia State, went then into field service leadership. So I led field service organizations for German machine builders for the North American market. Unfortunately, with COVID, that went all down the hill, and I decided to start my own show and focus on digitalization, as I see digitalization overall as a tool to solve the current problems, issues, and dilemmas we have in manufacturing.
Yeah.
And so far, that is running well. And through things like your podcast, I have the opportunity to talk about the things, as the challenge in all these digital things is that a lot of people have no good idea what digitalization all means. It's kind of like a fog. I call it always the digital fog. You hear all these buzzwords, but you don't know about use cases and how does this all work? And that's kind of my mission, to tell the story, tell about use cases, and how can you solve problems with specific tools. And thanks again for having me and giving me that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So DigitalituM started post-COVID. What problem does DigitalituM aim to solve within the manufacturing industry?
So with my and our experience in manufacturing and machine building, we understand the problems of manufacturers.
Yeah.
From labor shortage, skills gap, training, production efficiency, maintenance, and all these things on the operation and maintenance side. And then on the other hand, with my interest in all the different digital tools, I have a better understanding on the technologies, on what they do, and then on specific tools and use cases, how they work. And so I can kind of refer the right tool for the right application. I always tell the story about a toolbox. I bet you have a toolbox in your shop.
One or two.
One or two. I have one too, or one or two. The thing what differentiates us is, or all of us, is each toolbox is different. You have different tools than me. There might be an overlap, and you have many different tools. And then you can ask the question, why do you need all these different tools? Why? Because each tool can always only do mostly one thing.
Sure.
That's why you need screwdrivers, pliers, wrenches, hammers, and all the different electro tools and so on. And if you look into, let's say, screwdrivers, is one screwdriver enough in your toolbox?
Nope.
No. You need different sizes. You need different shapes, like a flathead, Phillips, maybe a Torx. And have you ever tried to open a flathead screw with a Phillips screwdriver?
Doesn't work very well.
It may work the other way around, but not in this combination. That's why you need the right tool to solve the right problem. And in the digital world, I kind of see it the same way. On the top, there are all the different technologies, VR, AR, AI, and so on. And then below, I see all these different tools. And if you open up LinkedIn, there's every day another 20 AI tools, for example.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But is there this jack of all trades, multi-MacGyver, master mega tool, which can do all and everything? I haven't seen it yet.
Nope.
Some people opinions it's an ERP system like an SAP, for example, which can do a lot. Yes, and these tools are or systems, let's call it more like systems, are very powerful, but they cannot do all and everything. You still need some additional tools to that to make everything better, faster, and more efficient. And yeah, that's kind of how I explain what I do. Understanding the problem, and then recommend the right tool, and then help also to implement that tool to make sure it's running and it's well understood how it works to take the most out of it.
That's amazing. So, Markus, does DigitalituM have its own suite of tools, or do you partner with other organizations to provide those tools that you then give manufacturers in their toolbox?
Yeah. So we are not a tool maker. We are a tool distribution shop, or a tool shop. Let's call it this way. So we partner with companies, and with my connection into the German market, I found there a lot of unique digital tool makers, and a lot of them are kind of in the kind of startup companies. They address a specific problem in the industry. They're already successful in their home market, but they haven't really entered the US market. And so on one side, I help these companies to enter the US market, as I'm living now for 16 years in the US. I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia. And then on the other end, my target clients are small, medium manufacturers, machine builders in the Southeast, but we serve more or less the entire US. And we help them by using these tools to get better, faster, more efficient. So that's kind of our business model.
I love it. So, Marcus, as you walk into a small to medium size shop, how do you identify what tool is best for each manufacturer?
What I always love to do first is to get a factory tour in a shop, because it's always enlightening how things are built. I always love to see that, and then kind of understand how they do it, what methods they use. It gives me then immediately kind of a picture on where they are in overall Lean Six Sigma organization, also on their digitalization journey. Just by walking around, you kind of see that. And then with that, I more or less can immediately tell them, hey, I saw this, we could do something there. I saw this, we could do something there. And that's how things get started.
That's great. Um, so, walk us through some case studies or use cases where you've gone in. Do you have companies that you've worked with that you can give us some specific examples of use cases there?
Yeah, of course. We did recently, we helped Meyer America. They're a manufacturer of rotary joints, and they expanded their production floor and moved to a new location. And we helped them with the whole shop floor planning, as initially they started to do the planning on a whiteboard by drawing the things. As the challenge is when you move into a new place and when you rent it, you do not really get good CAD data from the realtor. They got a PDF with some measurements on it, and that's it. We have a tool called HaloCline. It's a virtual reality shop floor planning tool, and what that does is you can plan a shop floor and then do that actually in virtual reality, and then also test it out how it works. And that's the main advantage of virtual reality.
Yeah.
Yes, you could do it on your CAD system of choice, either in 2D and 3D. The challenge there is that even when you plan it in 3D on your CAD system of choice, SolidWorks, AutoCAD, you name it, through your monitor, you still watch it in 2D.
Right.
So this whole the feeling of the room is not really there. And if you do it in virtual reality by putting this virtual reality goggles on, and having, of course, the right application for that, you can import CAD objects into virtual reality. You can move them around and kind of align them all. You can build your own stuff there with things. That's pretty easy. If you ask, is it complicated? Yes, my kids can do it. They come down into my office sometimes and say, hey, Daddy, I want to build a factory in virtual reality. So it's not complicated.
That's really cool, Marcus.
Yeah. And
in there I guess, standard machine tools, right? So if you use DMG or Okuma or Makinos, are there standard footprints for those different machines in there?
They have already a big library of different things, from machine centers to shelves to forklifts to everything what you can import. If it's not there, you can build your own box if you know the dimensions.
Yeah.
Or there's even a fancy new way. If you have one of the latest iPhones or an iPad Pro, it has actually a LiDAR scanner in it. And
does it really?
Yes. And with a free app called the 3D Scanner app, you actually scan that object, you create a pixel cloud out of it, and you are able to import that pixel cloud. And then you have the real thing in your 3D environment. And then the actual where the whole thing comes alive and where the big value comes in is that in virtual reality, you can test your design by actually working on it. Let's say you're in front of a CNC machine. You can check the ergonomics by touching the button, by putting a part into the machine and see how that all works. If you have some type of manual assembly, you can design the height, where all your different bins are, and make this as ergonomic as possible. Because by really doing it with your hands, first of all, you measure cycle time, And second of all, you get an ergonomics analytics of it.
Wow.
And it tells you, is this ergonomically all good what you're doing? You even can bring for example, your workers in, and as they are tall people, they're short people, the ergonomics work all different. And the magic is that you can test your design before it gets built, get their feedback, make it better, make it perfect. And then when you finally hammer it in stone and roll it out, nobody is complaining. Because in the old way, the engineer is planning something on his computer in the office in the back. It gets built this way. As soon as it's done, the workers on the shop floor complaining, you forgot about this and you forgot about this, and this is too wide and this is too narrow and I cannot work in it, and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Then you have to make a lot of changes. And we all know when you make changes to existing project, which is already built, exactly, it costs more money and your timeline is gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but when you design something and you can test your design before it's built,
wow,
and make it perfect, and then you build it, and it's all good, then you're on budget and on timeline, and everybody is happy.
Yeah, and those are big. So you're working with this client. You recommended this VR shop floor build program.
So
is that where it went?
What we more or less did is, as a consulting service, we did the planning for the shop floor for them. Let their people test it out until everybody was happy. We hammered the design in stone, and then we gave them the plan and said, now build it that way, and everything is good.
Wow. So, and they're happy with the design now? Has it been fully built out and they're up and functioning again?
They're up and running. And so far, what I hear, everybody is happy.
That's wonderful. Great. Yeah. So that was the VR side of it. Talk us through use case with augmented reality there.
Yeah, augmented reality, there are a couple of different ones. Let's focus on the process of manual assembly. Manual assembly is used for low quantity, high variation work. It's often in a kind of a workbench environment where you have a lot of different bins with all the different tools and different parts.
Yep.
And then a person gets traditionally a paperwork instruction with maybe a picture or so and lots of complex text to put that device together. The challenge is that in the past that worked all good when the workers stayed at their company, they were one-time trained and they just repeated and everything was good. Nowadays, unfortunately, it's a good or bad thing, people come and go, companies deal with a lot of fluctuation. In this case, they have to always train new people. That has an impact on the overall quality of the device. Yep. And as material prices went now up as well, if material price go up and your quality goes actually down, that is not good.
Right, absolutely.
A lot of times, these workers, which put that stuff together, are not rocket science engineers from an education standpoint. Normally, they don't have an engineering degree.
Right.
Maybe even do not speak English at their first language.
Yep.
And therefore have all the challenges to understand this engineering language described assembly process.
Yep.
Which then causes additional issues. The solution for that is a system called, there are a couple of names out there, either worker assistance, worker guidance, or projected AR. And what it does more or less, it's a system built with a computer and a projector and a sensor. It's built on top of your workbench. And a video projector is actually pointing down and shining on your work surface or on your work table. And kind of like a PowerPoint presentation, guides the worker through that workflow by having like little text emblems or graphic or arrows pointing in directions. The bin alignment can be, for example, eliminated to tell, hey, take a part out of this bin here. And as soon as you grip in and take the part, it shows you where to put that part in your assembly.
Wow.
And it's really easy, can be easily understand. And if you work with graphic, for example, or even little video snippets, then the language barrier is gone as well.
Yeah. So are those used in conjunction with an MES system, or how does that process work behind the scenes there?
The process, the workflow itself is programmed or taught into this device, and it's kind of like setting up, I always say, a PowerPoint slide. Each slide is one work step, and each slide you tell what to do by using different graphic elements. And then there are different levels. There's, for example, an infrared sensor involved, which kind of sees your hands, and it detects if you grip into the right bin to pick the right part, or it checks if you put that part into the right location. In a higher level, you even can put in a high resolution camera, which then detects is the part actually at the right place. So
Wow.
it's then quality control within your working step. And then if you go deeper into it, it has tons of different interfaces. So yes, you can connect to your ERP system. You can connect to a PLC. You can connect to a screw gun, for example, as in a lot of assembly operations are some type of tightening operations with defined torques and stuff like that. This can be all added on, barcode scanners, you name it. It's an open system and can add a lot of different stuff. And we implemented a couple of these, for example, at a medical device manufacturer, where they kind of cannot really talk about what they built, but it's like a device which is in the size of a shoebox.
Okay.
And it consists of between 20 and 100 different parts which are assembled. And the advantage is that, or one problem there was that they have a pretty low production numbers there. The big advantage of a system like this is that you can use now the same table for various different assemblies. So today you build product A and you project the workflow for product A there. Tomorrow you have to build product B. You switch out the parts or your bins, and then you switch over that workflow. That can be done, for example, through an ERP connection or through a barcode scanner, and then you produce product B. And the same person or a different person can do it. If you need to add an additional shift, going from 2 shift to 3 shift, you don't need to train anyone. Just add that person, tell them, here, everything is there, just do it. And it takes all this pain points away.
Yeah, and I love it. My question is, because it seems to me a little bit like I'm going to pause while my dogs bark for a second. It sounds to me like it's almost like a vision system on a robotic arm. Why invest in this kind of technology versus a robotic arm to do these assembly operations?
Because at least as of right now, the teaching of a robot and the having different multi-gripper tools is still too complex and causes a lot of issues. If you run into higher production numbers, then yes, robotics assembly is the way to go. But there's a certain threshold in your production numbers what you have to have in order that automated assembly is worth to do it. And as I come from the machine building side, focusing specifically on assembly and testing operations, where more or less on one side the raw material comes in or the individual parts come in, and at the end, through the magic of a couple of different robots and PLCs and drives and so on, the final product comes out. It all works when you're always doing the same and when you always have the same material coming in, then it's picture perfect. If you have quality issues on your incoming material and you have 20 different variants, it's a nightmare to keep that thing up. And that's where still the process of manual assembly has its value. as we humans have this magic thing called a hand with 5 fingers, and literally that thing can do a lot of things.
Sure. No, and I do love it. I just wanted for myself and
Yeah.
anybody who watches to know why you would choose this AR solution over robotics, and I love it. Talk to us about some AI, solutions that you've worked on with one of your. Hold on, before I do
Yeah.
that, what was the name of the company that you've partnered with on the AR side, the augmented reality?
That is Archite.
Archite.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're out of Belgium, and I just was during my summer break. I was over in Europe, and I visited them and had a good time there.
Good. Wonderful. All right, so now let's jump into AI and IoT as well. What are some solutions or case studies, use cases you've seen with AI in the manufacturing industry?
On AI, that's kind of the newest thing out there, and a lot of use cases are in development, I would say. One thing see out there, which I work with, another startup out of Germany, is Assemblio. They actually focus on, if you still do the traditional work instruction route, by creating this work instructions with the magic of AI out of the CAD model. So as an input, you feed a CAD model in, and as an output, it gives you a step-by-step picture and text work instruction in any language you want, or even a video of doing that. And that's for me kind of an example for an AI use case in that kind of environment. Of course, with AI, you can do tons of different things.
Yeah.
And as I said, a lot of things are still in development. If we talk in a half a year, I can tell you 20 applications about it.
All right. I'll hold you to that, Marcus.
Yeah.
So one of the great parts of this show is I get to see a lot of cool demos. I get to see a lot of cool things in action. Is that something you can do for us right now, Marcus? Is you can do a demo for us?
Yeah, of course. I can show a couple of different videos what I have prepared.
Fantastic.
All right, you see that forklift?
Ready to go.
All right, let's go. So this is the demonstration of HeloCline, that 3D planning software. We walk now here through the office space. The walls were created, all these office items were imported from a database. And this is the manufacturing shop floor, on the side a little bit of a storage area, and then different workbenches and tools what we all put in place. There are some workers there simulating a receiving area. We even put a coffee machine here in the back. Very, very important.
Very important.
The forklift for bringing pallets in, another shelf space, and then in the back some bins for all the smaller parts.
Wow.
And as I said, as an input, we had the size of the shop floor, the height, and a couple of different models of some tools. The rest was either imported of similar things, or some of the boxes were just built in that tool.
Wow. That's really amazing, Marcus. I wasn't conceptualizing, my brain wasn't processing what this would look like until you showed that video. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and that's the walkthrough what you see when you have these guys on.
Got it. Okay, fantastic.
All right, then let me switch over. That's how a typical system look like. You have a workbench style environment. You have the bins, and then on top you have that box with the video projector, which is shining down.
Wow.
And let me put in a video here. That was actually IMTS 2022,
Okay.
where we had a booth. And that's a demonstration of a workpiece carrier system. You see it here, how it looks finally assembled. Over here are all the different parts, and this system guides now the operator through the system. And you see it even detects when the pod is in place, like I put this pod in and ka-ching, it sees that the pod is there, gives now a video instruction how to turn it and get the new part out of the bin. And it detects that the right part is picked from the right bin, gives the next video instruction. I'm even too slow to tell the story that fast is happening everything, of course, in the speed of an operator. And at IMTS, we kind of showcased this to the visitor of the booth and said, hey, please try our system, build that thing together. I know you have no clue what that is and how it works, but just follow the instructions and you can do it. And the first product without any training was built in good quality, the way how it should be.
That's amazing, Markus, because what that's doing is it's giving manufacturers the ability to hire somebody off the street that maybe doesn't have the apprenticeship background that exactly. You do, right? Yeah. And so it's providing those sustainable career pathways for somebody who may be working at McDonald's or Burger King right now, and they could get this sustainable career pathway for them in this industry.
That's right. And even in a mixed environment where you have junior workers and the senior workers, it helps you to keep the quality straight, because the expert guy a lot of time thinks they know everything better, and they kind of have their own process in how it works, which from a quality standpoint might be not the best one. And so by keeping them under control, you make sure that everybody, the juniors and the seniors, are building that product together the same way.
Wow. I love it. That is maybe the coolest thing I've seen in a long time, Markus. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what we're all about at DigitalituM, by having
you just took that screwdriver and you made it even cooler, Markus. I love it. So, Markus, are you going to be at IMTS this year? I mean, we're 2 short weeks away.
I am at IMTS. I don't have a booth this year, but I'm there as a guest I'm flying up on the 10th and going back on the evening of and so I'm staying 2 days there, which should give me plenty of time to have a conversation or maybe even a beer with you.
Yeah, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I was just thinking, all right, what does my Tuesday night look like? I don't think I have anything planned, so I'd love to have a beer with you. And what I'd love to do, Markus, is swap hats. I would love a DigitalituM hat, and I'll bring you one of mine, and we can do a little hat swap there.
I carry a couple of hats with me to IMTS specifically for that, as this is kind of I think it's a new trend as well to do that. Or how long do we do this hat thing already?
Hey, as long as people keep giving me hats, I've got to get it put up on my wall somewhere. But I have maybe 50 hats right now, just from industry partners and friends in the industry. I love this trend. It reminds me of soccer players exchanging jerseys after games, right?
Yeah,
I love that. Markus, how can the viewers, the listeners, get a hold of you?
There are several different ways. First of all, I'm on LinkedIn, where almost everybody is. If you spell my name right, you should find me and no other, because there are not that many Markus Rimmele with a K. DigitalituM is on LinkedIn as well. Then www.digitalitum.com is my website. From there, you can schedule a meeting with me. Several different ways to get hold of me and see what me and we at DigitalituM do as we post things on regular basis. As I said, we just started a podcast as well, where I talk with peers and technology partners in the industry and do a deep dive in this different use cases and solutions with the whole purpose of educating the people what can be done in the year 2024 already.
I love it. I love it. And Markus, I'll link your LinkedIn. I'll link the DigitalituM website in the show notes below. Thank you so much for being on, Markus. I really thought the VR was cool, but they are blew me away because I talked to so many young people about careers in manufacturing. I talked to so many people who are currently throwing boxes at houses for Amazon, right? And they do it because they don't know that there's anything really else out there. They don't know how to break into manufacturing. And I think that the more manufacturers bring in these kinds of solutions, that AR solution, the more people we can bring into the industry, and the more we can start to close that skills gap, which we've been talking about for 20 years. And we'll get into more when we do your episode on the Manufacturing Culture podcast. But thank you very much for being on. I really appreciate you and appreciate your solutions there.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So thank you, folks, for joining us on the Manufacturing Connector. I hope you found today's episode super practical. I mean, these solutions were two very practical, cost-saving solutions that Markus and DigitalituM are bringing to the table on behalf of their partners. So a special thanks again to Markus Rimmele from DigitalituM for demonstrating these products and how advanced technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, AI are driving and solving critical challenges in manufacturing and really driving the industry forward at the same time. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you never miss one of these episodes. Hit the bell icon to get notified every time we release one of these videos. I'd love to hear your thoughts and questions in the comments below. What challenges are you facing in your manufacturing journey? What topics would you like us to cover in future episodes? Stay connected with us on social media for more exclusive content and updates. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok to be totally wrapped up in all things Manufacturing Connector. And remember, at the Manufacturing Connector, we're here to empower you with the latest innovations and insights in the manufacturing world. Join us next time as we continue to explore the future of manufacturing, one solution at a time. Until then, keep innovating, keep connecting, and let's see the future of manufacturing today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.